If you can become a millionaire selling that, there's really no limits to what is possible. There are many ways how you can become a millionaire, and in this video we are gonna look at the absolutely weirdest ones. It is truly crazy how some of these people got rich. Honestly, it shouldn't even be possible. And the first one is the $1 million homepage. Back in 2005, Alex 2 had a brilliant idea. He launched a website called milliondollarhomepage.com, which consisted of exactly 1 million pixels. He then started selling off those pixels 1 pixel at a time for $1 each. This idea was funny and unique, it got some publicity, which led to more and more companies being interested in buying some of those pixels. They of course then used those pixels as ad space and linked to their own homepage, trying to gain new customers. Quickly, all 1 million pixels were sold out, which, you guessed it, turned Alex into a millionaire overnight. Funny enough, the $1 million homepage is still live, so you can go and check it out for yourself. There were many copycat attempts later on, but obviously none of them as successful as the original. But if you're thinking that Alex 2 was also a one-hit wonder, you would be wrong, because Alex went on to found the hugely popular meditation app Calm, which currently is valued at $2 billion and made Alex more than $100 million. Next on our list of weird products that ended up making millions, we have one of the most popular and at the same time strangest toys of all times. It is the Slinky. Probably all of us owned a Slinky at some point during our childhood, but did you know that it was invented in the 1940s by a naval engineer? Richard James was trying to develop a means for suspending sensitive shipboard instruments when by pure accident he dropped one of the springs and found it funny how it moved along the floor. He and his wife saw the business potential, turned it into a toy and mass-produced it. The rest, as they say, is history. More than 300 million Slinkies have been sold, it has been introduced into the Toy Hall of Fame, I had no idea that existed, and it made millions of dollars for its inventor. When Richard James died in 1974, he reportedly had a net worth of $250 million. Who would have thought that you can make that amount of money with a simple spring? But even stranger and a lot less effort is the next product that also ended up making millions. It is the simple URL pizza.com. In the early days of the internet, great domain days were still virtually for free. Of course, nobody had any idea how big the internet would be one day and how valuable those URLs might become. So when Chris Clark back in 1994 bought the URL pizza.com for just $20, he probably didn't think much of it. Little did he know that that was the best investment he would ever make. Because in 2008, Clark held an auction to eventually sell off the URL and received a mind-boggling $2.8 million for it. It absolutely blows my mind that somebody can make $2.8 million with virtually no work. And in fact, Chris Clark was just as shocked that he made that amount of money. But what makes the story even funnier is that if you go to pizza.com nowadays, the website actually doesn't exist. It was live for a few years, but since then has been taken down. So somebody paid $2.8 million for it and now is not even using it anymore. So it turned out to be a terrible investment for the person who purchased it, but it was a great investment for Chris Clark. The next weird product on our list that ended up generating millions of dollars is called Doggles. Now you might be thinking, what the hell are Doggles? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is goggles for dogs. And if you're thinking that that sounds like a terrible business idea, then you're saying exactly what a lot of people said initially. When the inventor of Doggles, Ronnie DeLullo, first presented them at a fair, people literally laughed at her. But she was convinced nonetheless that she had found a niche. The idea came to her when she was out with her dog on a sunny day and she saw how her dog squinted to not be blinded by the sunlight. And lo and behold, she turned out to be right, because more and more people ended up buying Doggles for their dogs. More and more use cases were discovered, from military dogs in Iraq wearing those Doggles to protect them from sandstorms, all the way to dogs who need prescription glasses. Nowadays, Doggles have an annual turnover of more than $3 million, which just goes to show that it's all about finding your niche. And with that, we have reached product number 5 that ended up making millions. This one might be the weirdest of all. It is simply a rock pet. Now, what the hell is a pet rock? It is just that. Back in 1975, advertiser Gary Dahl overheard a conversation of his friends talking about how much work their pets are, which gave him a brilliant idea for the perfect pet. A rock. If you think about it, it makes perfect sense. A rock doesn't have to be fed, it doesn't have to be groomed, it doesn't have to be walked, it will never disobey you, it won't die. What more could you ask for? It started out as a joke amongst friends, but Dahl actually took it seriously and designed a product that could be brought to market. The pet rock came in a box fully equipped with breathing holes for the rock, as well as a detailed instruction manual to make sure that you take good care of your rock. Surprisingly, the pet rock became an overnight success in 1975 and sold more than 1 million units. So selling rocks literally made Gary Dahl a millionaire. If you can become a millionaire selling that, there's really no limits to what is possible. And if you feel like, hey, this pet rock sounds pretty cool, I would like to have one of these, no problem. Go to Amazon, type in pet rock, and you will be able to find the original and get one for yourself. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and I'll be seeing you in the next video.